Hello, beautiful people. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. I'm Trina from 𝗙𝗶ℎ𝗿, and I am going to do my best to deliver these messages. I am outside for a reason, and I live in a very populated area of Louisville, Kentucky, so you are going to hear some people in the background, which I wish that wasn't the case, but doing my best with what I have. So maybe you are aware that there is a thickness in the air. I don't know how to put it, but I like to say you can feel it in the air. And I've been feeling this and sensing this on and off all week, along with very, very sleepy energy. And it was very, the energy was very thick yesterday too, but also today when I woke up today, and I actually slept in until like 1 p.m. or something like that. My sleep was much deeper. So you may be experiencing stuff like that right now. And when I say thick, like it's thick in the air, I don't know how else to describe it, but those who are sensitive like me and can feel beyond the material plane, yeah, like there's definitely something going on. Background noises. There's stuff going on astrologically, energetically, galactically, on a cosmic, greater scale level. And there's stuff happening on a micro level here in the material plane. What I'm sensing, and I can only say what I'm sensing since, I can't say, I don't know what anybody else is sensing, but for me, it is a very, very trippy, otherworldly sensation. And I've felt this kind of energy when we are in like energetic gateways, portals, on an equinox or a solstice, during a certain change in season. That is the other thing. For the past week, I have noticed that nature is different. I'm tuning into nature, and the air, the weather is different. And we're in the middle of, well, not in the middle. We are in the middle of summer where I live, but we just began August, and usually in this area in August, it is hot and muggy as fuck, like super muggy. But I noticed that there was less humidity in the air, more of a light breeze, like fresher air. It's still really warm outside, but it's not like blistering, smothering hot as we're used to. And I found that really, really interesting. I am going to be getting bit by mosquitoes while I do this, so just know this is how much I know I have to do this video. The mosquitoes out here are really bad. Like, it's so bad that I have not even been coming out in my own backyard because it's really bad. So there's just different things I'm picking up when I tune into nature. And like I said, it's like a in and out sensation of kind of like being in between two worlds, kind of feeling like you're sleepy but you're awake, like you're still in a dream but you're awake. And this ties in with what I was sensing and experiencing in 2017. So the sensation also feels like kind of being in the middle or hopping between different worlds, different realities, different timelines. And in 2017, which I feel like last year and this year is strongly connected to the information that was streaming forth in 2017 to a lot of us here on Earth, with the spiritual work we are, here carrying out. And in 2017, there was really strong, like, it was just hard for a lot of us to deny that we were experiencing timeline merges and timeline shifts, hopping in and out of multiple timelines, but also merging one or more into the current reality we were experiencing. And you can look that up in different places. Google it, get on Facebook, YouTube it. A lot of other quote-unquote light workers, star seeds, awakened souls like myself, we have been talking about that like since 2017, experiencing these things during that year. And the other really potent thing was that there was just a very strong energy the closer we got to the Lionsgate portal in 2017. And I felt a bridge open up, and I was guided to sit outside and record a sound healing channeling of light language and messages during this portal. And that energy feels very connected to the now, the year 2021, the right now. And as I'm recording this is August 7th, 2021, and tomorrow is August 8th, 2021. And August 8th is known amongst many people as the Lionsgate portal. And this portal, this gateway, it's been open. I'm not the right person to tell you how long it's been open and all that, but I imagine when we began to sense the energy shift, maybe that's when it opened. But yeah, and energetic gateways stay open for a certain amount of time. And my purpose here is not to sit here and talk with you about the portal, or to go too much into detail about that. There is tons of information out there, and that is up for you to decide. What my assignment is to talk with you about sovereignty. And that was the message years ago in 2017, what came forth. So I'm going to share with you what I'm being guided to talk about here and now. And I'm also going to point you in the direction of above this video. If you're on YouTube, you will see the little banner come out, and if you click that will take you to the video from 2017, but it will also be in the description below, so you can finish this video in full first, which I hope you do. Regardless of where you're watching this, if you're watching this on a different social media platform, related videos will always be in the captions / description or whatever. Yeah, what I hope is for you to actually listen to what's being said here, and then tune in when you have some time that you need to set aside to be in a quiet space, a space that you can be free of distractions, and wear headphones, earbuds, whatever is your preference, but something to specifically and only listen to the channeling, and have no interruptions. So if you have a family or a roomie or kids or whatever, just let them know that you need a certain allotted amount of time to be alone. Please don't interrupt me, that kind of a thing, and create that space for yourself and listen to the channeling in entirety. And after that, please do not listen to this while you're driving or trying to cook or anything. The first time you listen to any sound healing or channeling, you want to create space to fully absorb and take in these different frequencies and subtleties. And afterwards, make sure, try to relax your body as much as possible. Take a few deep breaths before you start or while you're listening, and then allow your body to relax so that, your mind in every single level, you know, so physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Just allow yourself to relax so you can fully absorb and assimilate what is being given to you. And you know, after you listen to it, I highly suggest that you try to remember to drink fluids, try to drink water. Clean is preferable, so filtered or spring water. You know, if you like to add mint or fruit to your water, that's perfectly fine. If you like sports drinks, electrolytes, that's fine. Just try to keep your body hydrated. This is because water obviously hydrates our body. We need water to function, and the brain needs water. Every organ, we need water. And also water serves as a vehicle of purification, and also purification on many levels, multi-dimensional healing. And also in a physical sense, the water will help to push out toxins, the physical side of healing, which is to push out toxins and stuff that your body really doesn't need. And yeah, as I said, on an energetic level, water is a multi-dimensional healer and is encoded with healing. And you can always take it a step further and have a glass of water with you as you listen to the sound healing. You can hold it or just set the intention into the water that it will be encoded with the sound healing, and then set it next to you as you listen with the earbuds. And remember, that is important. It's not necessary, okay? It's not necessary, but it's highly recommended, because you will always receive what you're meant to receive. But it's actually quite fun to be the observer of what is taking place when you can use earbuds or headphones and be in a still space, and then allow yourself to observe all the things that are happening on different levels in whichever way you are able to at the time. So yes, I highly recommend staying hydrated after you listen to a sound healing, especially one as powerful as this. Just try to stay hydrated in general. And I know it's hard, it's a struggle for some of us who are hypersensitive beings, and we sometimes struggle with our embodiment, so I get it. But just try to stay aware of your physical body and what it needs, and when you remember to drink something. So, like I said, my assignment is to sit here before this camera and tell you guys quickly to listen to the sound healing, but also to touch on sovereignty a bit. You know, my job is not to sit here and try to go into all the different theories about what's going on the planet, about COVID and where COVID comes from, or this or that. And right now my job is not to talk about anything astrological, which I know sometimes I get on and talk about certain movements in the cosmos and things like that. No, I am coming before you to talk about sovereignty. It's very important right now with what is going on all over the planet. And it's also important right now during the Lionsgate portal because of different research that's coming up about certain portals and misuse of energy and misuse of, basically abuse of energetic gateways and portals. And so in general, even before I found out about this possible misuse of the Lionsgate portal, it had already been put upon my heart to talk about sovereignty in general. There goes the background. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, because we are all experiencing various emotions during this time since all of this started to happen, right? And maybe like me, many of you 1 minute are feeling super elated and you're noticing the beauty and the magic and the blessings and the building of new earth. But then you also are witnessing pain in others and pain within you, facing wounds and pains within yourself that you didn't fully process maybe in the past, or current pains, or tapping into the collective, or into a friend or a family member or a collective, and feeling their pain. Oh, look at the squirrel. And feeling their pain, you know. And then you have everything in the middle, right? So I don't know if elation would be over here and depression would be over here, or elation over here and depression over here, but you know, then there's all these emotions and experiences in between. And I think that many of us are experiencing all of it, just all over the place, from one day to the next. And there is an agenda. There's multiple agendas going on, on our planet. And one way that I can serve, one way that I can be of service, is to share and remind you about sovereignty. So like I said, the sound healing that will be included above and in the description, that is also on sovereignty and transmutation of things that were created in the past, far past, and now, and creating a bridge to allow these energy forms to choose, to make the choice to be transmuted and healed instead of staying in a lower vibration. They have the choice to choose to evolve. Okay, but it's more than that, and that's why you'll need to listen to the full recording. But that aside, I want to share with you that these mosquitoes that, I'm sorry, my mind is getting in the way of how the message should come out. With what I'm saying, with everything going on right now, and things that happen from time to time, so energetic portals and astrological events, you know, what I share with you is perfect for that time, and it's perfect now. It doesn't have to be practiced only during a certain time, is what I'm trying to get across. What is needed to be shared, practice this as often as you can, so that you can really, really anchor in this truth, so that you can change and shift your vibration, so that you can step back into your knowing and reclaim your power, reclaim your sovereignty. So I am here to share with you that no one and no thing can take your energy from you unless you are giving it permission in some shape or form. And so one of the clever ways that parasitic energies, parasitic entities can use and siphon your energy is by keeping you ignorant, keeping you asleep. I see this squirrel wants to play. It's like dropping stuff from up. So there are so many levels and layers on our planet that those in a position of power, that they have been using ignorance and keeping the people ignorant and asleep, using this tactic to basically keep all of us in a state of unconsciously giving away our power. So that's a huge reason why so much is kept hidden, why the structure of the current paradigm is the way it is, and why programming is in place, like why institutions are in place, and to basically program humans to have certain beliefs and to behave a certain way and to just follow orders, right? Like, for example, when we are born, what happens? The mother is usually in a hospital, correct? And the baby gets taken to like the little nursery area, and you have to choose a name for the baby, and you have to fill out this certificate, and your baby gets a number, right? That's just something we know, we don't think of, we just do it. These mosquitoes are attacking me, guys. And then what happens as the baby grows, and period, what are you a parent already doing? Usually as a parent, an adult, before you even had a kid, you were probably paying for a place to stay, you are working some kind of a job, and you have some kind of boss or supervisor, and you're paying certain bills. And most of us were in some kind of school system until a certain age, until we were able to make that choice to drop out of the school or not. And then some of us go from that schooling of 18 years into higher education, into a college, a community college, a university. This is just how our society works. And then, so let's fast forward back to what I was saying about, having a child, and then you're raising that child, and then what do? Maybe you find a babysitter, or maybe you raise the child, you stay at home until the child is of age to go to a school, and then the pattern repeats. The kid goes through the school system, and then after that has to pick a career, and it's literally, this is what our society is. You get some form of education, and you're getting indoctrinated, and then you have to go on and start your life. And this is just one example of many forms of indoctrination on the planet, and we just do it because that's what we know, right? That's what our parents tell us, that's what you see on TV, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So there are many forms on the planet of indoctrination. So we just think that this is just what is. And then you have people who are living alternatively, and these are just people like me and others who realize there's more to that, to what we're used to, but it gets the word alternative. We are choosing to not conform to a system because we realize it is a system, and we realize it is a form of slavery. It is slavery, and it's indoctrination, and it is a way to take our power away from us. And this goes on and bleeds into every aspect of life in many ways, and that can be discussed further. Plus, there was a series I started with Ty, and then stuff started happening when we started speaking up about the programming and the parasitic system. We were attacked, like heavily attacked, and lost our home. So it's real when you speak up about things. But I'm here to just give you a little nugget of that and talk about why it's key to remember your sovereignty. And the more we do this, and the more of us that does this is breaking us free from this old paradigm. So what I want to share with you, you can use it to the T if you want, right? You can do exactly what I share with you, or you can find your own way of saying it. And honestly, as you continue to do the practice, you might find different words to use, or different ways to incorporate a different ritual with it, and that's fine. Find what works for you. I am not here to say that I'm associated with one school of thought or one path of faith or whatever. I'm not saying this practice of sovereignty is only associated with a certain path either, okay? This is for all human beings, no matter what walk of life you come from. This is, yeah, I'm just doing my job. Okay, so I do this anywhere. Okay, sometimes I say it when I'm just sitting in bed. Sometimes like for example, I went to meditate and I wanted to clear my space and make sure it was really clear. So I lit sage and I was saging my space as I stated these statements. You know, you could say it in the shower, in the bathtub. You can come outside into nature and stand by a tree or by nothing, just be in nature. You can wear shoes, don't wear shoes, do whatever you feel. And the more you do it, the more it'll become comfortable, familiar, and your own. So when you say these things, you need to speak. I prefer you say it out loud, because our voice is sound. Our voice is sound and frequency, okay? You can say it silently too, but I found that it has more power, more oomph when you say it out loud. And try to use as much conviction as possible. And I know in the beginning it may sound weird or feel weird because this is your first time doing it. That's why I'm saying it can take time. But basically, this is what you can say and continue to say to help clear your space and to break bonds, contracts with parasitic energies and entities. Okay? This is to help you regain and reclaim your sovereignty, because you are a sovereign being and you need to remember that. We are sovereign. We are no one's slave. I am sovereign. I am a sovereign being of divinity, of the divine. The divine resides within me. I am a piece of this divinity. I cut and destroy all bonds, contracts, and agreements with any and all parasitic energies and entities across all time, space, dimensions, realities, galaxies, and universes right now. Nothing is allowed to use, abuse, siphon, or attach to my energy unless I say so, unless I consciously agree to. Because I am a sovereign being. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Feel free to write that down, and you can change it up however you want. Literally, how I said it now was slightly different than how I said it hours ago in my living room, and it's slightly different than what I've said days ago. Whatever needs to be said will be said. But in some shape or form, say something like that you're speaking it. You're the one, the soul within the body, you are speaking aloud and saying, hey, I am cutting all contracts. I am cutting all agreements that were made unconsciously, which is what I was talking about, that in our system, they found a loophole. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. You're just giving it away because it's what you do, but you don't realize that you're giving away your energy. There are so many ways in our society we are giving away energy and don't realize it. So by making these sovereignty statements, you are taking back your sovereignty and your energy. And I guarantee you that you are now going to become more aware of ways you have been a host. You've been a food source. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So also, along with those sovereignty statements, one thing that you can say in general, but also because of COVID, okay, and what's going on with COVID, and all these other things that have not come into the light yet, but that some of us know about or whatever, you can say this sovereignty statement as well. I am a sovereign being, and I say no. I say no to experimentation on me, on my energy, on my vessel. I say no. I do not give permission to be experimented on. I say no to the COVID experimentation and all other experimentation. I am a sovereign being. Divine consciousness is within me. And I say no. You can say that or something like that, incorporate it in with the other sovereignty statements if you want. I think it's really important at this time. And a lot of us are, like I said, experiencing highs and lows, and we feel unsure, you know, and that's to be expected when things are coming to the light. You know, something is being destroyed. The old world, the old paradigm is being destroyed, and a new paradigm is being built. But it's just like shadow work. It's just like inner work, right? It's kind of a mess of destruction, as in old patterns and habits being addressed. Your consciousness is being taken, and you're taking your consciousness to these areas within yourself that were in darkness. So you're taking your light to the darkness and making it visible, and you're addressing these toxic behaviors, these destructive behaviors, or wounds, right? Painful things that have happened. And, you know, many of us as humans, when we've been hurt, we then develop certain responses and patterns to handle a hurtful situation like that in the future, or something that might be similar, you know. And that's all that has to do with the brain as well, and neurological pathways. So we learn ways to cope and ways to handle possible future situations. But the thing is that when we learn a response to the specific situation or something that seems similar, our learned responses sometimes are very destructive. They are harmful to self and others. And right now, a lot of humans are witnessing that and going through a lot of healing and opening up to healing. And we're seeing that at the macro level too. Consciousness is being taken to areas of darkness, right? Our consciousness, the people are being made aware of what has been going on the planet for a while, you know? Things that political leaders have been doing, and government officials, and, you know, finally disclosure is here. There's more documentaries on how the U.S. government has been trying to hide, you know, the evidence about extraterrestrial life and experimentation and just a lot of stuff. And then you have COVID and just all this stuff, right? So we're seeing a lot of my bird friends are coming out. Like, I've got cardinals, and my glasses aren't on, so I don't know if that's a cardinal or a robin. But hello. So at the macro level, at least on a planetary level, the Earth plane, we are seeing what happens when we're doing the work individually, right? Or we cry a lot when we realize we've been holding on to some kind of pain, and we cry, we feel angry, frustrated, hurt. We feel an array of emotions because we are finally taking the temporary band-aid off and looking at the wound, and we have to feel the emotions and then look at ourselves and our whatever behaviors it is, and then we start to mend, we start to heal. So like at the planetary level, we are witnessing wounds. We are witnessing destructive behaviors, destructive protocols in place, like just on a collective level and within government, within our system. And so there's a lot of destruction because a lot of that needs to be torn up. It needs to be transmuted, just like you would transmute stuff within yourself. And we're also losing loved ones in the process. There are people who are not recovering from this virus, and it's scary to watch loved ones, or loved ones of a friend, or two friends removed, or something like that, for these people to get extremely sick and die within days, to die within a week, to die within 2 weeks. And oftentimes the person dying does not get to have their loved ones around them because of the virus. I can tell you, my grandmother, she wasn't allowed to have any of us around her. I think at the very, very last minute, she had already slipped into a coma, and my aunt was able to get there like maybe an hour before she finally disincarnated. And there's a lot of other people like that who have died since the virus came out and did not have any physical family support. Some of them died alone or with medical staff around, but not with like a friend or a family member. And that's hard. So we're also experiencing feelings from that. We're just experiencing a lot. And during these unsure times, because it's, at a collective level, we are so unsure of what's going to happen. And it's the same as when you're healing and when you're going through huge life changes. I'm going through a huge life change, and some days I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea. There's so many times in my life where I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of my life, or I don't know what I'm going to be even doing tomorrow, and I'm able to just surrender and go with the flow, and it's magical. But then there's times where I've like really struggled to know what's my next move, or I have to just wait and be patient. And right now I'm going through so many changes in every aspect of my life. Just more deconstruction of things too, and integration, and it's like I'm so unsure on many days of what's happening and where my life path is taking me. I have these goals, and I'm like, is my path even really gonna go towards those goals that I have? Some days I'm extremely unsure, and I don't like, there's a lot of surrendering involved, and sometimes it can suck. It sucks to surrender because it's like, you gotta give up control. And I feel like on the planet, we all have to remember and learn how to surrender better, with more grace, but also find a balance too, because there is a certain amount of self-control. We have to learn self-control and what is within our power. So hence these sovereignty statements. It is within our power to reclaim our sovereignty. It is within our power to choose how we are going to treat one another. It's within our power to choose how we're going to treat ourselves, how we're going to talk to ourselves. look at ourselves, how we view ourselves, and how we view other people, talk to them, treat them. You know, are you being compassionate and kind? You know, it is within your power, it's within all of our power to make conscious choices. You know, you can control you. You cannot control someone else. You can control you. So it's about finding balance. Balance of what you can control and what you can't control, and how to surrender, how to more gracefully surrender to all these changes happening within you and on the planet. But one thing is for sure, is remembering who you are and your sovereignty. Helinu Hafrikantu Sumi Hinav. Hesu. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. If you have made it all the way through to the end of this video, I want to share that I am struggling energetically with sharing my works on so many different platforms, and the platforms just continue to change, and I'm a very, very sensitive person. I am extremely, extremely sensitive. So sometimes it's very overwhelming for me to get onto all these different platforms. Plus, I feel like my energy is being spread out instead of concentrated. So if you resonate with my work and you find it in your heart to support my work, please send me a message, you know, or a comment. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but what I'm asking of you and letting you know is that I am meditating on the idea of solely creating, recording videos and posting it in my Patreon, and possibly moving that over just to my website. There's so much to do. I would have to learn how to do it. I know it's possible to create a members only section in my website, and you'd have access to it there. I currently have a Patreon, and there's different tiers, but I'm being led to change up my Patreon. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like yet, but I'm thinking that I will just, everything that I already do now, it would just be inside my Patreon, and at whatever monetary level you are able to support, that will be available to you, and maybe there will be some different perks for each level, but I want to make sure that my content is available for all patrons. Just the perks would be different, but I'm allowing Spirit to direct me on that, you know, on how to do it and in which way to do it. But if this is something that you are like, yeah, I support you in that, either just come on over to Patreon and join, or write me and share your thoughts, or if you have any suggestions. And as for now, just please remember to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, because I'm just noticing an increase in my subscribers. It's amazing, thank you. But it's strange because my subscriber number is going up, but the views are so low, and this is a weird phenomenon. Years ago when I was making content all the time, it wasn't like this. And I'm assuming since I decided to step away from social media for a few years, that fucked up the algorithm or whatever. So doing those little things like subscribing and hitting the notification bell, that helps. And plus you'll see it and realize I've made content, and you can also share it with loved ones. Different ways to support me would be by sharing my content with other people, saving it, especially I'm noticing on Instagram, and maybe even Facebook now, when you save something, it helps with the algorithms. And commenting, saving, and sending out, like sharing it on stories and with friends and in messages and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to let you know that I can tell that Spirit is guiding me in a different way. I just don't know all of what it'll look like yet. But it's very possible that a lot of everything will get funneled into Patreon, and definitely my university. Come check out my university, 𝗙𝗲◡𝗋.thinkific.com. I have 2 courses there right now. Check it out. And yeah, that's everything I can think of right now at this moment. Thank you again for tuning in, and yeah, may the light guide you. May you realize that you are loved and supported. Namaste. 𝗙𝗶H𝗡 𝗍 𝗠 𝗏 𝗍. Ciao.